Welcome everyone. Today we are going to learn about hydrogen, the first periodic element, the first element in a periodic table. We are going to look into it that in which place hydrogen is placed and how hydrogen is useful and helpful in our day-to-day life. Hydrogen, as we know, the atomic number of hydrogen is 1. Hence, its electronic configuration becomes 1s1. That is 1s1. Now, when it is told 1s1, s1, so s can either lose electron or it can gain electron. Hence, hydrogen is resembles with alkali metals. What are alkali metals? Alkali metals are the group 1 elements in a periodic table because they are alkaline in nature. Hence, these group 1 elements are termed as alkali metals. Now, why these elements are called metals? As we know, the elements which can lose electron and acquire positive charge are termed as metals. Hence, hydrogen has one electron in its valence shell like alkali metals. Here we have few elements of alkali metals that are listed, that is hydrogen, lithium and sodium. Both hydrogen and alkali metals form unipositive ions, that means one positive charge. Again, hydrogen and alkali metals both shows +1 oxidation state. Hydrogen as well as other alkali metals acts as reducing agent. Both hydrogen and alkali metals have affinity for electronegative element. For example, if sodium can form sodium oxide, hydrogen can form hydrogen oxide. If sodium can form sodium chloride salt, similarly, hydrogen is also forming hydrogen chloride. Next, hydrogen is also similar with the halogen, that is group 17 elements. Now, you might be thinking, how is it possible? So, let's recall one of the group 17th element, that is, for example, fluorine, which is having an atomic number 9, and its electronic configuration becomes 2, 7. Now, as per Bohr's atomic theory, it says that first shell should be completely filled, it should contain 2 electrons, and second shell should contain maximum 8 electrons. Now, as it is having only 7 electrons in its outermost shell, it requires one more electron to gain. Hence, 1s2, 2s2 to p5. 1s2, 2s2 to p5 will gain one electron and it will become 1s2, 2s2 to p6. Therefore, ionization energy of hydrogen is almost similar to halogens. Hydrogens as well as halogens are diatomic in nature. That means hydrogen exists in diatomic form, that is dihydrogen, H2. Similarly, all the group 17th elements exist in diatomic form. For example, F2, Cl2, Br2, I2, right? Many compounds of hydrogen as well as of halogens are of covalent nature. For example, methane, silicon hydride, carbon tetrachloride, silicon chloride or silicon tetrachloride. So, this proves that hydrogen is similar to alkali metals as well as it is similar to halogen as well. Hence, The position of hydrogen is still not decided. It behaves as either group 1 elements or it also behaves as group 17th elements. Next, hydrogen element, as we have already learned that its atomic number is 1 as well as mass number is also 1. Now, how do we calculate mass numbers? We calculate mass number with the help of the protons and neutrons present in it. And hydrogen has only one proton, it do not have any neutron. Therefore, its mass number is also 1. Isotopes of hydrogen existing in nature are protium, deuterium and tritium. Now tritium comes under radioactive element as it has more number of neutrons, that is it has only one proton and two neutrons, whereas in deuterium, so deuterium is also symbolized as capital D and tritium is also symbolized as capital T. Here you can see. Okay. Now hydrides, the hydrides are classified into three types. Now what are hydrides? When hydrogen is reacted or combined with a metal or a non-metal, then the hydrides are formed. The hydrides are classified into three types: ionic or saline or salt-like hydrides, covalent or molecular hydrides, metallic or non-stoichiometric hydrides. Now we will be seeing each hydrides one by one. So what are ionic or saline hydrides? That means they are the salt-like hydrides. Hydrides formed between hydrogen and electropositive element of group 1 and group 2. That means they belong to the S block elements. So ionic hydrides or salt-like or saline hydrides, they are formed from group 1 and group 2, that is S block elements. These are also known as the stoichiometric compounds. Properties of saline or ionic hydrides are, that is, these hydrides of lighter elements like lithium, beryllium, magnesium, etc. They have significant covalent character. Now, what is covalent character? Covalent character means here when the hydrides are formed between the hydrogen and the metal, they are formed by sharing of electrons. Now why this is so? Because if you see lithium, beryllium, these all atomic size, their all atomic size is very small and hence they do not lose or gain electrons, rather they share electrons and attain their stable configuration. Ionic hydrides are crystalline, non-volatile and non-conducting in solid state, because we have already learned that is salt hydrides, they can only conduct electricity in its melted form or in the aqueous form. Now these hydrides conduct electricity in molten state and they liberate hydrogen at anode. They liberate hydrogen at anode. So this was all about ionic hydrides. So ionic hydrides are also known as saline hydrides. They are also known as stoichiometric compounds and they belong, the hydrides are formed with the help of S block elements. Next comes about covalent or molecular hydrides. Now these are binary compounds of hydrogen with non-metals belonging to the p block. I repeat, covalent hydrides are binary compounds of hydrogen with non-metals belong to the p block elements. Now which are p block elements? Which group elements are p block elements? Right, it starts from your 13th group, right? 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. These all elements are your, from the element where the electronic configuration ends with p subcell, then they are the p block elements. So what is the electronic configuration of carbon? Carbon atomic number is 6. So it is 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. So before that, carbon के पहले कौन सा है? Who is having atomic number 5? So from that, your p block element starts. For example, we have ammonia, right? Methane, water molecules, HF. They all are volatile compounds. Now, what are volatile compounds? Volatile compound means the one which evaporate easily even at room temperature. So these are the compounds, the hydrides, which are volatile in nature and have low boiling points. They are further classified into electron deficient molecular hydrides, electron precise hydrides, and electron rich hydrides. Now, what is meant by electron deficient? That means the one which having less number of electrons to attain the octet configuration. So, for example, the molecular hydrides such as BH3, this is boron hydride. Atomic number of boron is 5. I repeat, atomic number of boron is 5. Hence, its electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p1. So, it has 3 electrons in its outermost shell. As per Bohr's atomic theory, if we go for the electronic configuration, that is 2, 3. So, it has 3 electrons to share with the hydrogen atom, and it forms BH3. Now, after sharing as well, central atom B is having only 6 electrons, which is less than the octet configuration. Hence, this type of hydrides we termed as electron deficient molecular hydrides. For example, you can check here. This is our B, which is having 3 electrons in its outermost shell. Now, hydrogen we have. Again, this is having 1 electron. Is having 1 electron. Okay, now boron hydride is formed by sharing the electron pair. Right. So, what you can see is boron is having this electron, that is 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So we can say it is having less number of electrons. This is the central atom, so it is having less number of electrons. Similarly with beryllium hydride, you can check beryllium, its atomic number is 4. So 2, 2. Okay, then electron precise hydrides. That means the central atom is having exactly the same number of electrons, that is 8 electron. Group 14 elements. Can anybody please let me know which element comes under group 14? Yes, very good. It's carbon. Now, carbon is coming under group 14 elements and we have 4 electrons in its outermost shell. Similarly, hydrogen is also going to share the 4 electrons with it and it is going to form your methane molecule. So, as it will share these 4 electrons, one from each hydrogen atom. So, in all, totally we will have 2, 4, 6 and 8 electrons for methane molecule. Hence, as it is having 8 electrons, so central atom, which is your central atom, carbon is your central atom. So, it is having the octet configuration. Hence, group 14th elements, hydrides, when it is formed, they are told as they are electron precise covalent hydride. I repeat, they are known as electron precise covalent hydride. I suppose this much is very much clear to you what are electron precise and what are electron deficient. Here you can see that carbon central atom is having 8 electrons. But similarly, electron-rich hydrides, when the central atom is having more number of electrons, that is contains lone pair of electrons. For example, ammonia. Right, ammonia, what is the atomic number of ammonia? Excellent, the atomic number of ammonia is 7. Hence, it has 2, 5, the electronic configuration is. So, it has totally 5 electrons in its outermost shell. Now, when it is combining with hydrogen, right, it is combining with 3 hydrogen atoms only to form stable ammonia. Right, so they will share electrons and form an ammonia molecule which is pyramidal in structure, and still you can see that nitrogen atom being a central atom, it is still remaining with a lone pair of electron. So they are known as electron rich hydrides. I repeat, they are known as electron rich hydrides. You can check this for all the given example. I hope the covalent or molecular hydride is being understood. Right. So again, I repeat, what are covalent hydrides? Covalent hydrides are the binary compounds of hydrogen with non-metals belonging to the p block elements. And covalent hydride is further divided into 3 different types on the basis of the central atom containing the number of electrons, that is electron deficient molecular hydrides, electron precise hydrides, and electron rich hydrides. Next, we will look into the metallic hydrides or non-stoichiometric hydrides. Now, these metallic hydrides are formed, right, with the transition metals. Group is 3, 4, and 5. Now, transition metals comes under the D block elements. Okay. Now, these type of metallic hydrides are also termed as interstitial hydrides. In group 6, chromium is an element which alone has a tendency to form chromium hydride, that is CrH. Metals of 7th, 8th and 9th group do not form hydrides. Hence, this is known as a hydride gap. Latest study shows that only nickel, palladium, cesium and actinium are interstitial in nature. That means they can occupy hydrogen atom in the interstitial site. What is interstitial site? Now, when the atoms are arranged, right, when the atoms are, we can check over here that when the atoms are arranged, they are arranged in a way when they have the space between them. Suppose this is the atoms arranged, okay, of the similar size. This is the atoms when they are arranged of the similar size. We do have space between them, right? We do have space between them, which is known as the interstitial site, So these hydrides are generally non-stoichiometric and their composition varies with temperature and pressure. For example, TiH 1.73, CeH 2.7, LaH 2.8, etc. Now, these hydrides have metallic lock and their properties are closely related to those of the parent metal. These metallic hydrides act as strong reducing agent in most of the cases due to the presence of free hydrogen atom in the metal lattice. Next, what is water? Human body about 65% and some plants have nearly about 95% of water. The physical properties of water is very much well known to you. That is, present point of water is 273.15 Kelvin, which is equals to 0 degrees Celsius, and boiling point is 100 degrees Celsius, which is equal to 373.15 Kelvin. Maximum density of water at 4 degrees Celsius is 1 gram per cubic centimeter, and it is colorless, tasteless, even odorless liquid. Due to hydrogen bonding with the polar molecules, even covalent bond like alcohol and carbohydrates, they dissolve in water. Right? I suppose the polarity is also clear to you. Now, when we will be looking into the water in detail and its structures, we will know it well. So for today, only this much. Stay safe and stay tuned. Stay happy. Take care.